Hey guys, Ryan here. Had a great response from a post that I did a few days ago, or yesterday actually, I think. And, was rather pleased at the response from it, from the group and another Xterra club that I joined online. Um, Kind of inspired me to start making some videos. I've never done anything like this, and kind of done a little uh, resto doc, if you will. I'm not a professional car restorer, and this is kind of my first little venture into what is now kind of becoming a quest to restore um, Falcore, the '02 Xterra, the white one. Um, and then we have Jackpot, the silver one that I've dubbed. I bought as a parts truck a few weeks ago. And then we have Artex right here. I'm narrating from the garage because the wind's blowing kind of hard out here today. Trying to get some better sound. It is Colorado in the high Rockies in January, so I'm having a little bit of Jack Daniels. So if I stumble on my words, sort of the point of this is for me to become a better YouTube narrator and video editor, as well as try to contribute to the Xterra community and or just kind of general newbie restoration of cars community. Like I said, I've never done anything like this before, so comments from the peanut gallery are welcome. I have a thick skin. I'm a hockey goalie, so I understand jabs and stuff very well. So I'm gonna try and do just a little walkthrough of where I started from on this car. I didn't do a good job of taking before and after photos when I first bought it. I didn't have any plans of doing anything like this. I kind of wanted to buy a used truck to learn how to do some basic car maintenance and repairs, and have kind of a beater truck that kind of gets you up into the mountains, on some light Jeep trails, nothing hardcore, four-wheeling or anything like that. Just wanted to buy a used truck, but there is kind of a story behind my love for Xterras, and appreciation for the design and stuff. And once again, to improve some other aspects of my life, and with it being the new year and the responses that I've had, in a positive manner, you guys have inspired me to make some more videos and kind of get better at doing something that contributes to the online community in a positive way, and also helps me become better at certain things like editing and shooting YouTube footage and restoration stuff. So any comments, positive or negative, are always welcome. So I'm gonna kind of split this up and do some segments on where I started from when I bought Falcore, the white Xterra. Once again, I love this truck more than any other car I've ever owned. It's become so awesome, and I'm now on a quest to get it back to factory, due to a few things I've done, and then all of a sudden it became a journey. And so I'm just going to try and document it a little bit better. And so I guess kind of the story behind my love and appreciation for Xterras came in about May of 1998, I think it was. I don't know the exact dates. I didn't document any of that long before iPhones or anything had come out. My neighbor, I was living in Tennessee at the time, and we were all 16 and obsessed with, who got what car and all that stuff, when we were 16. And my neighbor, whose dad was the mayor of the town that we were living in Tennessee, outside of Nashville, had some connections apparently with the new Nissan plant that had gone in Smyrna, Tennessee, a short drive away from us. And he came home with a 1999 yellow, brand new. You couldn't get them anywhere. They hadn't even really been released yet. It was kind of a pre-release type of thing. He came home with a yellow, bright yellow, classic 99 Xterra. None of us had seen anything like this before. Instantly, I thought the design was cool, the hump, and, all that stuff. I was convinced that alien life forms had come down and given us some insight to modern design. Led to a few other things, paths that I pursued in life, like architecture and design and things like that. So, he had the coolest thing that we had ever seen, any of us, all of our friends. He had the toy. And so to kind of jump forward about 6 months, as we all watched in horror, we all know that in the late 90s, it was the thing to do to lower your cars, and get them as close to the ground as humanly possible. And, we watched in horror as he lowered his Xterra to about 4 microns off the ground, that scraped every speed bump and pothole, in the road, and just completely scraped the bottom of the car. He lowered it to no suspension and put, 20-inch spinners on it, and, a 4,000 watt amp with a 96-inch sub in the back or whatever, all of that stuff that rattled, the bass rattled literally every screw. I think he literally rattled the roof rack off of it at one point, type of thing. And did every other dumb thing that you can do with an Xterra at 16 years old and a little bit of money. Cheap AutoZone, LED light type of thing, and completely destroyed what we all now know is a classic. It was a pre-release, I think, Xterra, a 99 yellow, the original. So that kind of put me on a quest over the past 20 years to say, I've always loved the design of this truck, and have wanted one for a long time. This summer, this past summer of 2020, I moved out to Colorado from Utah to pursue my architecture license, and had a little bit of money, and, had a boring CRV 2018 touring edition that, sucked. I got rid of that and traded it in for the Impreza, which is a basic standard model. It's a standard transmission, but it's still a cool car and is 100% reliable. Freed up a lot of cash and had a little bit left over to buy a second car, which I ran into this '02 Xterra, standard transmission. Loved it instantly. The inside was a disaster, but the engine had been replaced about 25, I think, 30,000 miles. I'll break out some of the records and stuff on it. The engine had been replaced. The transmission was a dice roll. Nobody really knew. had a decent Carfax on it. So I dropped, I think, $3,100 on it. I vividly remember the week that I bought it, the odometer rolled over to a perfect 184,000 miles on it. Right now it's got about 186. That's since August of 2020. And yeah, so that's kind of where the story began. And I wanted to, basically fix it up, just a little bit. It was rough around the edges, but it seemed solid, drove straight, had good tires. The transmission was shifting smooth. The engine was, sounded rock solid. I bought it from a major Nissan dealer in Colorado Springs. So they all, gave it, checked it out, and the engine checked out. And so I felt comfortable dropping that and just paying cash for it and walking off the lot. And was comfortable to say, hey, I'm going to learn how to change my own oil and spark plugs and do tune-ups and stuff like that. The outside, the exterior of the car wasn't completely shot. It needed a cleanup. The dealer didn't detail the inside or anything. And that's kind of where the story starts. I was going to just buy it and have like a rugged mountain beater truck that I learned how to do some basic maintenance on, right? And repairs. And then I bought a couple of parts, and the story begins. And I'm now kind of on a quest to finish it back out and bring it back to its full glory. And so comments are always welcome. Good, bad, ugly, love them all. Really just trying to figure out this whole YouTube and Facebook docu-series type of thing. And it's turned into what I think is kind of a cool project with some cool finds along the way. So let me know what you think, and we'll continue the video.